Hey yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why you check out the channel. And we are back with another Money Talk Monday. All right, let's get straight to it. Okay, so unlike a lot of other people, gurus and whatever, now I'm going to start with you with the facts. This is all my experience growing up as a black man from Newark, New Jersey. Now, the reason why I put real estate options for the unprivileged is because this is not just a black thing. This is a poor white thing. This is a poor Hispanic thing. This is a poor Asian thing. This is an immigrant thing. This is something, if you weren't born with privilege, as far as with a stable family, because that's a privilege, or born with a lot of money because you got like a college trust fund from your grandparents, that's a privilege, or something like that. Well, this right here, this is real estate options for the unprivileged. Now, the best way to start off, I figured, and I'm going straight in. Shout out to everybody. I'm gonna shout you out in a minute. But the best way to start off is to tell you about myself. Myself, only child, born in Newark, New Jersey. Loving mother, loving family, no father, mother in and out the mental institution. I went to 9 schools in 13 years, moved around a lot, fights, just schools closing, a lot of stuff going on, living in Newark, New Jersey in the 80s and 90s in the crack epidemic. For those that don't know, Newark, New Jersey, it was a lot different than what it is now in the 80s and the 90s and 2000s. And it was what you would call a poverty-stricken city. With that said, I am 37 years old. I own 2 houses in New Jersey, both multifamily income producing properties. I own a condo in Miami Beach, and I'm in the process of obtaining financing to purchase my first international property. Now that you guys all have the intro, let me give you guys an understanding of what wealth is. Wealth, not what wealth is, but rather what's the pretty much the only way. I'm not gonna say only, because I've never seen nothing's the only way, but one of the most prevalent ways to building wealth is to own real estate, is through real estate. Now, the reason why this is because no matter how much the market goes up or the market goes down, real estate has a trajectory going upwards. If you get to a point, and if you when you can study real estate around the world, you will understand that America is pretty young. The United States is pretty young. It's only 400 years old. Let me ask Siri. Let me ask Siri. Give me a second. Can I ask Siri? Siri, how old is the United States? Okay. So let's see. Established in 1784. So if it's established in 1784, it's what? Less than 300 years old, right? So if I'm wrong, correct me in the future, but I'm just giving some basic data. So it's less than 300 years old. So basically what I'm saying is that the United States is still young, which means we haven't reached the level which other countries have reached. If you start to look at how other countries' real estate things go, if you look in Europe, if you look in Asia or China, you look in Japan, and how their real estate is, well, you can see how eventually the United States real estate will be. Right now is an opportunity for us at the bottom level to still get in. Now, yes, I understand that real estate looks crazy priced right now, but when you understand that, I want to say like how I don't want to give a number, but it's a high percentage of people rent in other countries because they can't afford. Then you understand that what you're doing now and what we're doing now is something that can build for our generations and our legacies behind us. Now I'm going to shout everybody out in the room, and we're going to start with giving you solutions, because I don't want to be one of the people on the channel that just talk about what's happening and complain about everything. I just want to give you guys a understanding of my background, understanding of where I come from, understanding of where I'm at real estate wise, and understanding of what's happening around the world real estate wise. So let's shout everybody out in the room. Whew, fast talk. Marky Mark, what's going on? Black excellence is what I'm seeing right here. Yes, yes, yes. Ozzy says another week, another opportunity to make more money. Yes, and invest and invest. The money making is good, but investing lasts generations. You're definitely ending this year off strong. What's going on? Words of weapons. If give me a one in the room if my sound is right. I got a new setup here because I wanted to make sure I got some different background. So give me a one in the room if the mic is right. If I need to move it closer, let me know. It's a new setup, but the mic is still here. C Spill, what's going on? Definitely, man. One step at a time. Chestnut, what it do? What it do? They are throwing money in hard. Listen, we can't worry about what is not. We can, but we shouldn't worry about what we can't control. And what we can control is whether or not our legacy behind us. You got to look into the future. I know it's going to be hard for a lot of people, but you got to look into the future of legacy. And we're going to talk about purchasing real estate here in the United States and abroad. And these are both options for the unprivileged in the United States. Raphael, what's going on? Just submitted. Let's go, Raphael. That's what I'm talking about. Just submitted my first application to my lender to buy my first home. Looking to have one by the end of year 2022. See, this is what I'm talking about, fellas. Ladies, this is what I'm talking about. Anybody in between, this is what I'm talking about. Forget everything else. Nothing else at this point in my mind comes before acquiring property to make sure your legacy and your children's, and even if you don't have any children, just your legacy is on top. I'm just gonna shout everybody out. We're gonna get back right into it. Jason Phillips, what's going on? Brandon Banks, what it do? Kings and Dreams in the building. Make sure y'all check out his channel, y'all. Yes, yeah, okay. So the mic sounds right. Okay, I appreciate it. All right. So check this out, y'all. I think there's going to get to a point where the United States becomes, and it may come fast, it might not come that fast because the United States is, like I said, relatively young, but it may come to a point like in Europe where the majority of people are renters or they own apartment flats, what they call flats. Like, you guys know I travel around the world. There's a lot of people from the UK here. A lot of people don't own homes in the United Kingdom. A lot of people don't own homes in China because it came to a point where the homes became unobtainable. Here in the United States, yes, the prices seem high, but we can do things like leave 3% down, 3.5% down on our property. We can leave 20% down on a property. We can live in the property and rent the property out as a duplex. These things are not available almost anywhere else around the world. I mean, if you just think about a duplex in general is just a family and a family sharing the responsibilities of a house controlled by one person. That's not something that you can see in other countries because they didn't build like that. United States made it possible for us to do this. So we have to do whatever we have to do to change this. Now, to give you guys a background, because I understand that some people, it may seem far out of mind, but it seemed far out of mind to me too. But 10 years is not a long time, and it might not even take you 10 years. Check this out. I'm going to explain to you how I started. When I was 14 years old, I started working at a job and mind you, like I said, I told you my background already. When I was 14 years old, I started working at a job part-time for the summertime through a community program, just so that I can get the discipline of working. I did stuff at the firehouse, little extra stuff on the summer. Got a little money, stacked it. Bought some nice things, cool. 16, I got a job at the skating rink. At 18, I got a job at FedEx. At 20, I decided, you know what I'm going to do? FedEx, and FedEx is hiring, by the way. So if you haven't checked, FedEx is hiring, Amazon is hiring, UPS is hiring. These are trucking companies that I know because trucking is big right now. It's a lot of need for truckers and truck drivers here. So what I'm telling you is a repeatable thing. This is what differentiates me from a lot of celebrities and stuff, because what I'm giving you, the process I'm giving you, is repeatable. You can do it yourself. It's a matter of time. Most of us in this chat still have 10 years to get this done if you need to. So at 18, I got a job at FedEx. At 20, I started putting money away to invest. I didn't know what I was going to invest in at the time. had no idea what I was going to do. I wish I had somebody to talk to me like this that was my age or around my age to help me do this, but it didn't happen. So at 20, I just put money away. Still traveled the world because that's important to understand the world. I still met and learned different things, different languages and stuff like that because that's important too, to know the world. But I put 6% away and my job matched the 6%. So now 12% of my income, because my 6%, my job 6%, is going away. I did that from 20 years old to 32 years old. At 32 years old, I was able to take half of my 401k out, and this is still possible. Now, we may not have a chance again where you can take all your money out without penalty. That may never happen again. The government may never allow it again. But what they do allow is you to take half of your 401k out. Now, remember, guys, remember, ladies, I told you these companies are still hiring. FedEx, UPS, Amazon. These companies all have 401ks, and you can do the exact same thing I did. So at 32, I bought my first house. My first house, New Jersey, cost me $250,000, right? Yes, you might not get that. You might not get the house for that price right now, but here's why it doesn't matter. Because if your first house is a duplex, they're gonna say you could rent one floor, and you could live in one floor, which splits your bill. So whereas if you're a single man or a single woman or a woman with a kid or family together, you would normally be paying $1,400, $1,500 a month for a one bedroom, maybe $1,600 for a two bedroom if you're lucky. It's rare to get $1,600 two bedrooms in New Jersey, but where you're at, maybe you pay $1,600 for a two bedroom in New Jersey, right? Now, mind you, your top tenants is two bedroom, your bottom tenants is a two bedroom. So they're paying 16 and you're paying 16. And your mortgage, well, with the interest rates being where they're at now, like between 3.0 and 3.3, your mortgage may only be for a house that's about, I'm going to say the average cost of a house that you would have to get is going to be like $400,000. I might be going over. You could probably find something cheaper in New Jersey. I don't know your local market. If you know your local market, check it out. But you might be able to find C-Spill. We're going to get to international first. I just want to talk people through. I want to talk people through the United States because to me, it doesn't make sense. And I understand everybody has their own lifestyle, but for me, it doesn't make sense to invest foreign until you at least have one property invested in the States. And when we get to talking about foreign investments, I'll explain to you why. All right, so we're back to the duplex. So you're paying $1,600. I mean, your tenant's paying $1,600. Your mortgage is let's say 20 is going to be $4,000. So it'll be like $2,200, right? So there's going to be a gap between the 16 and the 22. So you're going to have to pay $600. But what did you do right there? You just saved $1,000. You see how easy that was? You just saved $1,000. Now, mind you, we told y'all 10 years. Now, some people can save faster, but it took me at a slow rate of 12% per year, 10 years to get this. But you can do this in 5 years if you're really dedicated. Unless you have if you have $20,000 or $30,000 sitting around. Because here's the thing. You only need $20,000 or $30,000 because you only need to leave 3.5%. This is why I say this is for the unprivileged. The unprivileged in other countries aren't able to do this. They can't leave 10,000 or 10,000 down in a house and 10,000 in closing and get a house. That's not possible. Majority of places around the world. So once again, this is for the unprivileged. So now you're paying 22. Your tenant is paying altogether. Your tenant is paying 16. You only have to pay $600 a month. Yes, you want to save some money for fixing things up. So let's say you pay $800 a month because you want to save $200 for fixing things up. So now you're saving more money. That's one strategy. If you're a single man, as if you have a wife and a kid and you need a two bedroom, as if you have a wife and a kid and you need a two bedroom, you get two houses. Your wife, your kid, and yourself stay on the first floor. And then the people stay on the second floor, and now you lowered your monthly cost of living down by $1,000. That's one option. If you're a single man or you're a single man with kids who maybe live with their mothers, here's an even better option, which can get you to financial freedom faster. You get a two-family, right? Boom, you get a 2-family. Now, same 2-family, you have one person playing 16, you have a second person playing 16, and you live in the basement. Now, yes, I know all basements aren't as furnished as my basements are, and all basements aren't as perfect, but you can make a way. You live in the basement, so follow me here. And this is $1,600 for the first floor, $1,600 for the second floor. That's $3,200. Your mortgage is $2,200. So now, as a person who was unprivileged, you are now living in the basement for free. No matter of fact, my fault. You're not living for free. You're making $1,000 to live in the basement every month you're there. And this is what the housing prices. This is what housing prices at $400,000. $400,000. This is a housing price at $400,000. So we're not talking about something that happened in the past when I got my house for $250,000. We're talking about at this moment right now, duplexes are going for $400,000 or less. You might find some that's higher in different areas, but you know the areas in your town where you can do this at. You know areas in your town that aren't as rough or dangerous where you can do this at. And that's simple one way. Now let me go to the comments again, and then we're going to talk about international because I want you guys to stay close and ladies to stay close. We're going to go international, and then we'll come back to investing in the States. So let's see. Let's build a. All right, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Duplexes in DR. We'll get to that too. Kings and Dream says generational wealth is the key. Your future and your children's future are important. Yes, and one other thing also, mental stability is the key also, because without this being stable, everything else falls apart. And what helps you be mentally stable is when you know you're living for free, or you're paying less than what you would normally pay because you have a duplex, or you're getting paid to live somewhere. Solar says, what's your position at FedEx? I drive trucks. I'm a driver. Yeah, Ground. Okay. Nice. I don't know if Ground has the access to the 401k, but if it does, man, listen, you can do it too. Nah, man, I'm gonna break it down to y'all. Dog Nuts, what's going on, man? Raphael says, I'm buying my first spot in Maryland, thinking about a duplex in Jersey for number 2. Here's what I would say, Raphael, and this is the thing. This is the good reason why I go live, because when I go live, I can communicate with you guys, and I can give you some of my perspectives on things. My first house, unless I got it for a very cheap price, I would not ever, never say never, I already got my house. I would not ever buy a single family home as my first house. Your first house, your first property should always be an income producing property. Let me a second, y'all. I need this thing. Your first place should always be an income producing property. Let me show you why. When you buy a house, and this is what kind of is taking me a longer time to purchase my Mexico property, because I didn't want to move my houses into LLC yet. Here's what the issue is why you don't want to have your first house to be a single family house. When you buy a single family house, it goes in your credit report. When it goes in your credit report that you have a house that's not producing you income, then it becomes a liability. And that liability can stop you from making it harder for you getting your second house. Now, here's another reason too. When you buy your first house, you can leave 3.5% down. When you buy your second house, odds are in New Jersey or anywhere around the United States, they're going to want at least 10 to 20%. Even if it's not an investment property, if it's a property you're going to live in, and they see you have the first house already, they're going to want 10 to 20% or 10 to 25% of the money down when you get your second house. This is why it's most important to the first property you buy to be an investment property that is at least a duplex. If you can find a triplex or a quadplex, that's important as well. Quadplex means 4 people can live in there. 3 people. Duplex, 2 people. But that's the most important reason why you don't want to buy a single. See, that's the American dream. What is known as the American dream, and we'll get into some more comments before we go international again. Before we go international, the American dream has always been set up to get a house with a white picket fence and have kids and stuff like that. But that's also a trap for slavery. Maybe I shouldn't say a trap that's like slavery. How about that? Because once you have that house, it becomes something that you have to work to pay all the time. You have to work and pay it all the time, all the time. Gotta pay it, and that becomes the issue because now you're trapped. You can't just move. You can't just move around as much as you want because you got that mortgage that's not producing you income, and that is very much tough. All right, so we're gonna go international. A couple of things you should check. I would say honestly, I would say for your first piece of property, always buy in the town that you're familiar with. Yes, other places are cheaper, but if you're not familiar with that town, if you don't have connections in that town, if you can't get back and forth within an hour of your property, I wouldn't suggest buying that. Jay Brash says you can do a conventional loan, not just an FHA. Yes, definitely. A conventional loan, you can do that at 5%. They have some conventional loans that you can get with 5% down. Before it used to be you needed 20% of equity, but some conventional loans is 5% down. I have friends in Ohio too. Yeah, let me see. If your company has a stock program, yes, you can sell stocks towards the purchase. That's a good point too, Jay Brash. Y'all looking at NACA? I'm not sure what that is. North Atlantic. Let's see. Foreclosures. All right, so let's go internationally. Now, that's one option. The first my idea is that if you don't own a house, all right, here's why. Two things. One, I personally would not ever invest in a property overseas as a partnership with someone who doesn't own property in the States. And let me tell you why. Owning property in the United States is different from owning property around the world. However, the basic principles are always the same with owning property. You have to understand the mortgage payments. You have to understand how to organize and work with tenants, and you have to understand what things go into it, what type of things you have to worry about fixing and stuff like that. That's going to be the basic principles. Now, the other principles may be different, but those principles are most important. Now, once you have a property once you have a property that's producing you income, passive or some semi-passive, because you got to interact with it. You know, I don't use a manager, but you could. But once you have a property that's semi-passive in the United States, now you can consider another way of doing it by investing overseas. Now, one thing I've been seeing, and I don't want to point out anybody, and you, like I said, anybody can find a way that works for them. But I've been seeing a lot of people who are trying to buy properties overseas that just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. There's some guys, ladies and guys out there that's trying to go buy properties that's like a big house. So they're trying to build something overseas and then just own it. But here's the thing: if it can't produce you income, it becomes a liability. It becomes a liability because one, you would get more money if you put all the money that you're buying this house. Because let's say I was going to go build a house in the Dominican Republic, right? I don't understand how the process is to I mean, that's it. I don't understand, but I don't understand how the process is to actually build. Because even the process in the United States for building a house from scratch, it's a long process. One thing. Secondly, am I able to go back and forth and monitor everything? Because if I can't monitor the building, trust and believe, I have friends who I have a friend. Shout out to Wilmer. I have a friend who he owns a contractor company. He helped me put all my houses, most of my houses together and stuff. And even though we've known each other for almost 7 years, right? I still have to monitor the contract work that goes down. You have to monitor everything because when you don't monitor, things go wrong. People don't do stuff. So logically, to me, it doesn't make sense to build a house in another country because you're not going to be there monitoring it, especially if you're not 100% fluent with the language, because now you can't communicate with the people. So when I see people building houses in other countries and they're talking about, oh, this is a solid investment, I kind of question. Sometimes I question, do they understand what an investment is? Like for me, like the standard investment is you want your place to make more than 8%. The stock market can make on average between 7 and 10% per year investment return on investment. So you want your place to make at least 8% return on investment. I don't see how that's possible if you're building a house overseas or duplex overseas. Because first of all, the money in the Dominican Republic, the money in Colombia, the money in Mexico is not going to be as much as the money in the States. So when you build overseas, in my book, it should not be for an investment alone. It should be a place where you feel as though you go a lot and you may want to retire. And when you retire, you may want to go there for 6 months. You may want to go there for a year. And that's how I personally think that underprivileged people who haven't been, because let's get it straight. After a while, America is going to become untouchable. So the way that America was, or the United States, the way that the United States was in the 2008, where everything was low price and then people brought it, and now the houses are way more than it was in 2008. Well, I think that we have that same opportunity right now to buy that internationally. But remember, first you must own a place in the States, and it must be an income producing property, because you want that passive income to make sure everything is right. Let me go. Multifamily looks like the roof. Honestly, listen, I don't like saying stuff is the only way. People can find a way that works for them. However, I think the smart investor would always go multifamily first. Here's the thing. When I made my channel, I was like, yo, yes, I'm traveling a lot. Yes, I got a lot of women in the channel. Yes, I talk about a lot of stuff people want to hear, but if I can give you an inkling of something that's going to be, something that shows you guys all the lifestyle you see me live, it's because I move like this. All the lifestyles you guys see me live. You see me in Colombia, you see me in Brazil, you see me with the nice cars, you see me doing stuff. This is all because of things like this, like multifamily homes, investing in crypto. And in the description, what I did was I left a link. My fault. I left different links. Hope you guys hit like button. It don't matter actually. I left different links in the room to to most of the other channels on YouTube that I watch on a daily basis to get more information on financing, real estate, crypto, international properties, and business. And they're all in the description. So I would highly suggest you guys, after this is over, you guys go in the description and check it out. At the 30-minute mark, I'll put the link in the room and see if anybody comes in, but let's go to the comments. Yes, you can also do it with 3%. You can also do it with 3%. Usually though, Jay Brash, I believe 3% does cause the PMI. I don't know if you can do a conventional with 3% with no PMI. I don't know if that's possible. I just don't know. Black Hand, what's going on, man? You might have to have a higher credit score to do a conventional. Okay, 680 or better. I think it's 700 because I actually trying to increase my HELOC to try to get a little bit more money out so then I could refinance one of my houses hopefully and get a little. I'm not in a rush to get this Mexico place, but I do want to secure a place internationally before I retire in 6 years. I'm definitely going to secure something in Mexico because I feel as though Mexico is the most stablest place. Every other through this whole pandemic, I've been seeing all these other countries wish-washy. Colombia, Brazil, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica. They've been wish-washy with the laws and things changing, but Mexico has been strict. Mexico has been straight. And I want to show you guys a video, man. I can't even show you because I want to monetize this. Actually, I can. I'm going to say fair use because I'm transforming this video, and I want to show you guys something I was watching the other day. It's a woman, and this is another option too. You can rent, but I believe in owning property. A woman who lives in a part of Mexico for $400 a month. Let's see if I can put that here. Let's see. Share screen. I was gonna talk to you guys about redlining. Basically, redlining is the refusal for a loan or insurance because they're basically all right. So back in the day, black people in the United States who had money and wanted to purchase homes could only purchase homes in certain area because the bank wouldn't loan them the money to purchase homes in an area that's maybe predominantly white or a wealthy area. Now, redlining doesn't happen as much. When I say it's not happening at all? Yes, I do, but I think it happens a different way. But if you know the history of what redlining is, then I think that you would be more inclined to want to work hard to get some property as soon as possible. Let's see. How do you? Let me see. I want to show you a video, but we're just talking out in the room. How do you take care of those properties living out of state and moving around so much? Okay, so here's the thing. I have a system. Now most of my tenants pay rent electronically, so I don't have to be here to get cash for most of my tenants. I do have one tenant who has started paying electronically, but normally pays in cash. But most of them pay electronically, so I can get that wherever I want. Secondly, if something goes wrong with the house, I first have a contractor who fixes stuff. If I can't find a contractor, most of the stuff, like if something happens with a sink, like I have a sink, like one of my tenants has this clogged sink, right? And the clogged sink doesn't fall into my fixing because it's the food that the person put in the sink that's making it clog. So what they have to do is I'll call a plumber, I'll pay it through a credit card, and then they have to pay me back when the rent comes to so I can pay the thing back. Basically, I use, no matter where I'm at in the world, if I'm in Miami, if I'm in Colombia, if I'm in Mexico, if I'm in Russia, I can make a phone call and say, hey, Roto-Rooter, I need you to go here. I tell my tenants, hey, Roto-Rooter is coming at this time. Make sure you let them in so they can fix the sink. Or I call my contractor if it's something that needs to be fixed. Hey, Wilmer, come over and fix the house, or fix that house, or fix this house, or I need you to shovel the snow for me if you can, or when you can, so everybody can get that stuff. It's all with technology. Technology makes it possible to live anywhere in the world and run a business. Let me see. All right, so let me put the link in the room, and then if you guys got any questions, be sure to ask. Like I said, any questions on real estate. If you have a question, a personal question, and you want to phrase it in a way where you can ask me here, like, all right, I'm stuck at this point right here. What do I do next? Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Because the worst thing I can see is I don't want, and I do this because I don't want to be, and I know people gonna dislike it, but I don't want, no offense, but I don't want to be like the elders who have been doing this whole civil rights movement and all this stuff, but financially we haven't moved anywhere for the last 48 years. I want to show you guys a solution so that you can move, and I'm moving. Like that's why I started this. I started this video off telling y'all guys where I'm at 37 years old. Now, I mean, at 37 years old, I own 2 houses. I own a condo in Miami. I own stocks. I own crypto, and I started from poverty. I didn't sell drugs, and I have nothing wrong with anybody that does, because I think everybody can live the life they want to live. I didn't sell drugs. I didn't have to kill nobody. I I didn't have a silver spoon. I didn't get a bunch of money from my parents. I didn't even know my father till I was 13. I didn't meet him, not know him. Still don't know him now. So when I'm telling you guys this, I'm not telling you guys this from a stable position. Bro, I was homeless at some points. At point when I was 16, I was homeless. When I was, for only for a week for there. But then when I got this house, I was technically homeless because this house wasn't livable and I couldn't live in my other house. So I got a story on my financial part. You can say all that stuff too. So just know it's possible, man. Let me see. NACA is a great program, just notoriously slow. Okay. Neighborhood Assistance Corporation America. Okay. Did I hopefully I shared the thing in the room. If I didn't, I'll share it again. Peace. There you go. I have appointment. I'm renting out 6 months. Yeah. Oh, apartment. Yep. We just talking about that earlier. I'm planning to put down 10%. Honestly, Raphael, if you can put down 5% and you're going to rent a duplex, I would suggest you do 5% down, and the extra money you take to fix it up. I don't know your situation, if you have kids, a wife, or if you're a single man or woman, but that would determine whether or not you may want to take that money and then fix up the basement where you live, And even if it's a one-family house, maybe you could rent out rooms. Like, it's all about it's if you want to live like nobody else, sometimes you got to live like nobody else. So like a lot of people like, I don't want nobody living in my other room. I don't want to live in the basement. Cool. Well, then when this person who wanted to live in the basement or this person who did want to rent out other rooms ends up with multiple properties and not having to pay nothing, then you can't complain because you didn't want to live with a roommate. So like I said, I would put 3 to 5% down. Make sure you don't got a PMI, and then the other money I would take to fix up the basement, to either live in the basement, fix up the attic to live in the attic, or fix up the house so that you can rent rooms out, man. Because there are traveling nurses that need a place to stay almost all the time. There are Airbnbs. You can Airbnb a place if it's your house. It's not like a condo. You can Airbnb a place and make money off the room. So listen, you got it's going to be tough now because things are more expensive, but you got to be creative. As people of poverty, unprivileged people, we are able to adapt to almost anything. Almost anything. Let me see. Redline, yeah, definitely still happens. Credit unions have great programs for home occupier. Yes, they do, especially a first-time home buyer. Great point, J Bash. No PMI, 100% financing. Yes, definitely. Like credit unions are good. My credit union was good for refinancing my car, but FedEx credit union, man, I had a hard time with them. I had a hard time with them with getting houses. So, Buck Travel says invest in the stock market has a better return to real estate. All right, so here's what I'll say, Buck Travel. You may get a better monetary return than a real estate. But check this out. Here's what the stock market doesn't have that real estate has. Real estate has tax write-offs. The tax write-offs in real estate, you can make $100,000 and write off $200,000 on taxes. You can't do that with stocks. You can also have a place to live with real estate. You can't live in stocks. So for me, in my perspective, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but in my perspective, stocks are nowhere near as, especially if you don't have a place. Like I can't fathom wanting to rent out a place and then use all the money to put in the stock market rather than owning a place and put either a little money in the stock market or a lot. Because at the end of the day, you still have to pay rent. If rent goes up, their stocks have to go up too. Now, if the stocks go down and your rent go up, now you hit. But if you own a place, now you don't have to worry about if something goes up because you're the person who controls the asset. You know what I mean? So it's and the crazy thing is that the schools, they don't teach us this stuff. Our parents, they don't even most of our parents, when I say parents, my parents are like, my mother's like, what, 50, 52. My mother's young for her age. She had me 19. So my mother's like 52, 54, something like that, I think. 19, 37. So she's 56. My mother's 56 years old, right? If you have parents or you're like that's 56 and up, they really probably didn't know too much about any of this real estate. They probably didn't know anything about financial education. So this is what we have to go searching and do. And once again, I plead with people, if you're really interested in making a change, I put the links in the description for the channels that I watch every day. I watch these channels every day faithfully and just listen and information, man. Okay, yeah, that's chat room thing. Anthony, what's going on, man? What crypto? What crypto? Well, I do Bitcoin. Everybody do. I do Bitcoin and Ethereum. I played around with. What's it, those? I think I played around with something else. I don't know what it was, but I got out of it fast. It might have been Dogecoin. I played around with it, but solid. Like I said, I'm not sure how crypto is. I think crypto. I'm not gonna say it's a gamble, but I got a little bit in it, maybe like $1,000 or $2,000 in crypto, and that's just sitting. That's like a gamble. Like it can go up, it can go down. It doesn't bother me. That's not 2,000 ain't gonna hurt me there. You know what I mean? Can you provide any help with creating leases? All right, so here's the thing, C-Spill. You can find a lease online. Yes, you can. You can find a lease online that is legit and works well. Here's the thing. If you don't already have tenants, that's been there for a long time, I wouldn't suggest doing that, because the first time they come, you want to make sure that lease is tight. So for me, I just had a realtor find tenants for me, because that makes it easy. And if you don't know, a realtor just charges you the first month rent, and you can actually either put that cost on the tenant or you can split that cost with the tenant. So I would say, C-Spill, if you're buying your first duplex or you're buying your first property and you're going to have a lease, always get a realtor to find tenants, because yeah, that first month rent not going in your pocket might hurt a little bit, but the power in having a sealed lease that's very important is more important. Got it out the mud. Yeah, definitely, man. Did you get a grant FHA loan or something when you bought your house? Anonymous, no. I don't know if you got here before me, but before I said it or after I said it, but for 10 years for 12 years, from 30 years old, no, from 22 years old, no, for 10 years, no, 12 years, from 20 years old to 32 years old, I saved 6% of my check, every check. My company matched at 6%. So at the time I was buying the house, I had like $33,000 I had access to. I had 67,000 in my 401k. You can only take half of it. So I did that right there. The thing because I put down 5%, more than the 3% that you required to put down if you're gonna live there, they gave me a low interest. So rather than taking PMI, they gave me a low interest loan. And that was back in 2017. And like I said, even though I'm 37, I bought my first house in 2017. I bought my second house in 2018. I bought my third place in 2020. So when I'm showing you guys, like, I'm not one of the people who just saying stuff and don't have a receipts and stuff. Like, listen, there's receipts. There's receipts. Yeah, it wasn't FHA either. It was conventional. Long time. What's going on, Nosy Boy? Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man. Just trying to inspire, man. Like I said, to me, it doesn't matter if these videos get as many views as my Black Man's Guide, but I feel as though these videos are important. I'm about to put Buck Travel in the room too. These videos are important because, if you want to build, I just want people to build wealth, man. Buck Travel, what's going on, man? Oh, can you hear me? Hey, Buck Travel, you muted? Oh man, I can't. I mean, if you guys can hear me, Buck Travel, man, hit me up, man. I'm leaving here for a little bit, but gotta say something. How do you get into commercial property like 4 or 6 unit buildings? Anthony, commercial property is 5 units or more. A 4 unit property is still residential. Anything between 1 and 4 units is residential. And BiggerPockets. I put the link in the description, Anthony. BiggerPockets on YouTube. Check out BiggerPockets on YouTube. They have tons and tons of investors that can show you from scratch to finish how to, and it's just channels, it's YouTube videos you can watch. They have a website also, but they have YouTube videos you can watch that explain to you commercial property. I can tell you about residential property, and I'll leave it at that because I don't want to go into what I don't know. Definitely. Let me see. Taxes. As far as taxes, what do you mean? Like, as far as how do taxes work on real estate? Well, taxes, any person who is a millionaire owns some, or any of the top millionaires most of them own real estate. All of the governors and the senators, they own real estate. All of the wealthy people, they own real estate. Why? Because real estate is a tax write-off. You know how some people say, "Oh, Flyboy, you shouldn't really be talking about what's happening in other countries because you're ruining it for everybody." Well, that's the same way they feel about people talking about real estate and taxes. But guess what? In the United States wants you to own real estate and gives you hella tax benefits to own it. So you got, man, like, you get 10,000. Well, I think is that everybody? I get 10,000 for depreciation alone. So let's say I only made 10,000 in rent, right? and my depreciation is 10,000. That means I literally on paper, I literally make $0, which means that the 10,000 I did get, I'm technically not paying taxes for. So it's a lot more things you got to check on, but you will have PMI unless you put 20 down, unless it's a special program like a VA credit union. Jay Brash, not necessarily. Not necessarily. When I got my first crib, I put 5% down. I didn't have PMI. It wasn't a VA loan or a credit union or USD. It's a bank loan for first-time home buyers. First-time home buyers have the option of putting 3% down, like you said, or they have the option of putting 5% down and getting a conventional mortgage that may not have PMI on it. I think that program is still available. You just got to search for it, but it's not like one of these. Appreciate it, nosy boy. What about FHAs and USD loans? Now, FHA is the bare minimum loan, basically. So if you have like a 600, I think the lowest you can have is like a 620 credit score. Certain people can have less than 600, I think, VA, but for the most part, you need a 620 credit score, and you can get an FHA loan. And the FHA loan, you can put down 3%, which allows you to save more money. But the issue is that every FHA loan, I haven't seen one yet. If I'm wrong, correct me. Every FHA loan has PMI. You're not going to get an FHA loan without PMI. PMI is private mortgage insurance, and that's basically the amount of money you pay just because it's a risk that you might foreclose on your property. So they make you pay like $150. It depends on how much your loan is, but $150 to $200 basically a month more just because you have low credit and low money down. Did you get a grant? No. I didn't even use the FHA. Stock markets don't improve your credit score either. That's a benefit. Right. That's true. Housing does improve your credit score. Stocks go up and down every day. Real estate takes years and years to go up and down. Here's the thing about real estate, though. You may be thinking about appreciation, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about cash flow. So it doesn't matter how much my house is worth or how low it's worth. It's how much money you're getting for rent versus how much you're paying for your mortgage. That's why stocks can't really, for me, in my perspective, stocks can't really hold up with real estate because stocks can go up, stocks can go down, your money goes up and down. Real estate can go up in price, real estate can go down, but that rent is going to stay going the same. And if anything, that rent is going to go up. So if my house is worth $100,000, but I'm making $2,000 a month after paying a mortgage, if my house goes up to $500,000 and I'm still making $2,000, nothing ever changes. So yeah. Max Power says, look into stalking with crypto. Like I said, here's one thing I say. Crypto, stocks, bonds, these are all things that from my perspective, you should not, and this is just from my perspective, you should not invest in crypto. You should not invest in stocks. You should not invest in bonds. You should not invest in a business until you have a piece of property that's producing you income. Why? Because at the end of the day, a property producing you income is the most important thing to achieving wealth and financial independence. Because you need a place to stay. Regardless how much money you're making off of crypto, regardless how much money you're making off your business, regardless how much money you're making off of bonds, regardless how much money you're making anywhere else, you need a place to live. You got to pay somebody to live, to sleep, to eat, to breathe. So that's the most important thing. The most important thing first is to get an income producing property that you can live in. First, and then you can go into crypto, and then you can go into all that stuff. I can dig it, man. Like I said, everyone has a different vibe of how to do it. I'm just saying what my perspective is. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, the reason why I am, and I could just see, here's the thing. I'm 37 years old. I keep telling you guys because I want you guys to know I'm relatable. I'm 37 years old. I could retire right now. And if I retire, I would be making $1,000. I'm not going to tell you all the numbers. I'm not going to tell you the numbers. But if I retired right now, I would be living in Miami for free, making $1,000 a month. With everything paid. Everything paid. making $1,000 a month living in Miami for free. And that is something that I don't feel as though crypto can do. That's something I don't feel as though stocks can do. That's something where I feel as though bonds can do. Just the freedom to be able to get up and go without having to worry about what something else that happens. Graham Stephan is legit. Yeah, he definitely is legit, man. I was gonna put Meet Kevin down there, but a lot of times Meet Kevin, you kind of gotta have been following him for a while because he kind of jumps all over the place when he talks about stuff. But Meet Kevin is a good channel also. Buck Travel says, if you live cheap apartments and invest half your net incomes in stocks, personally, I find less. Here's the thing, I can understand that, but what's a cheap apartment? How long can it be cheap for? I mean, can you retire cheap off of that? Like, check this out. You buy a crib in Mexico, right? Like I said, for me, I don't see the logic in DR because DR is an island and they're nationalists, and meaning that if you move over there and they know you're American and you own a house over there, odds are everything's going to cost you more money, and eventually it might not be worth it. So to me, it doesn't make any sense because it's an island. Colombia makes sense. Mexico makes sense. Mexico makes more sense because of how the pandemic worked them out. But check this out. United States, Buck Travel, if you live in the United States, rent is going to go up. What you're paying in rent, if your crypto goes down, right? If your stocks go down completely, right? We have another thing like we had last year, and you're relying on that to pay rent, it's going to hurt, man. Then you're really going to have some kind of like headache over worrying about the stock market going completely down and or not working the way you want to work. But let's say you took that same $70,000 or same $80,000 that you bought in stocks, right? That you had in stocks, same $80,000, and you bought a crib in Mexico for $70,000, right? You know you can live in Mexico and only pay $2,000 a year with all your taxes, all your Fisa Comiso, all of your association fee would only come to max $200 a year for a 1-bedroom in Playa del Carmen. That means you would pretty much have a place to stay for the rest of your life. Versus putting $70,000 in the stock or $80,000 in the stock market, and let's say on average you get $10,000 a year, you get $8,000, right? That $8,000 is not going to allow you to live in the United States. You can't live in the United States off the $8,000. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't really understand how crypto. If you took, I'm just saying the base. Even if you put 100, you put 100,000 in crypto, and let's say you had a better than average year because the average year is 8%. So you had a better than average. You didn't have a 10. You had a 15% year, right? You put 100,000 in crypto. You made 15,000 for the year. You can't live on 15,000 for in the United States. But if I put 80,000 and bought a condo in Mexico, and I have 20,000 left, let's say I put the 20,000 into the stock market, right? And I get 10% back. So basically, I put 20,000 in the stock market, 10% back for the year. I made $2,000. Hey, that $2,000 pays off the $2,000 I'm going to have in Mexico. Now I'm living free every year. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, real estate makes that possible. Because here's the thing: a lot of people don't know. Like I said, we almost at an hour, so we're gonna end this soon. But here's a thing people don't know. Well, people don't care. They don't care to know. Let me show you, because I'm gonna break this down for y'all. We live in the United States. The United States was created not to give everyone a chance. The United States, the Europeans came from, and the Spanish and everybody came from Europe to the United States because in Europe they can only get so much power from being wealthy. So they wanted power, so they came to the United States. They built land based on that you can get power based on how much money you have. But the only way to get money is to keep people poor. Without poor, there would be no rich. Without people who are financially illiterate, there would not be millionaires who can make money. It's a balance. Normally the balance is like, it's like this, where you have like 10%, you have 20% of the wealthy, and you have 80% of let's say 40% of the middle class, and then another 40% of the poor. But now it's more like you got 10% of the wealthy, you got 90% of the, or you got 20% of the middle class, you got 70% of the poor. And that's why schools are the way they are. If schools taught financial literacy, then it would be less poor. But then the people who are rich wouldn't be as rich as they are. You see, here's the thing. If I'm at the top, right? If I'm at the top of the food chain, why do I want to educate people who are below me so they could possibly catch up to where I'm at? Does that make sense to you guys? Come on. So yes, it's never going to change because they'll throw distractions in. Hey, black people, take that. Another black person dead by a police officer. Another black person dead. Chicago, 1,000 deaths. And now everybody's all complaining about that, but the whole time the wealthy getting more wealthier. Oh, let's go, white people. Get mad at them because Trump's out of office and we cheated them because we wanted to do this. And then you get the white people mad, and then white people are like, and they don't care because the wealthy still getting wealthy, and white people complain about that. And the more stuff that they throw in your face, it's just to distract you, to show you that, listen, we're never going to change the school. We're never going to change the thing that makes everybody who they are. Because if we change that, we risk losing our wealth. Welcome to the United States. And you can get, and I don't personally, you guys know me. It ain't about getting mad. It's about finding a solution. And the solution is wealth, real estate. This real estate, wealth, stocks, crypto, investment, financial education. That's the solution. Nothing else. Like I said, that's everything else below that. Everything else below that. Another distraction, man. Another distraction. Meta world. Oh my God. We're going to be in this 3D thing where the real estate is all like this and like this. And we're going to all be sitting in our box houses with the goggles on in our big mansion through the real estate. Distraction, man. It's all a distraction. And you're going to get people to fall for it. And they are. And while you're in the meta world, cruising in your meta Bentley, going to your meta mansion, these millionaires are going to be buying up all the property, and then you're going to be a renter, just like the way it is in China, just the same way it is in Europe, where half the people get souped to buy a flat. For those who don't know what a flat is, no offense to anybody in the United Kingdom, a flat is just is an apartment, but it's like a condo. Like the wealthiest people are buying flats, not houses, because the houses are almost impossible to get. And that's how, and that's what's going to happen in the United States eventually. It might not happen in 100 years. It might not happen in 200 years, but best believe the United States is still young. It's going to come to a point where people can't afford housing no more, and you don't want to be the grandfather where your kids ask or your grandkids asking, "Hey, grandpa or grandma, what did you do when the pandemic happened? What did you do when everybody was getting wealthy?" Well, Sonny, I was investing in crypto. I was buying metaverse real estate. Here, put these goggles on. You can see the mansion I own. Distractions, man. Like, you don't even got to be a conspiracy theorist to even just say that, man. Real estate. You got to buy real estate, and you got to be investment property if you really want to be financially free. Wow, so that's crazy. You just explained everything that I'm trying to do right now. 25, dope. Oh, he got years. 25, took a loan out of 401k, have a decent amount of money saved, just find the best place to go. Nice. The most important thing is that you probably want to go where you comfortably know. Like, I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I bought my first house in West Orange. The reason why I bought it in West Orange is because I knew the area. But then I came back to Newark, I bought a house in Newark. But I bought it in Newark because I knew the area. When you try to buy somewhere outside of what you know, it can be a headache, man. It can be a headache. Yes, earn your leisure is good too, man. And the thing is that it's hard for a lot of people, that sometimes it's hard for like black people to look at a white person and like listen to them without getting frustrated. Like, you had it so easy. It's not that easy. Like I catch myself doing it at the same time too, so I'm not gonna knock it. Like I was watching Stephan and Brandon from BiggerPockets talk earlier, right? And in my head, Brandon was like, well, I just have my father sign for my house so that I can refinance it. And I'm looking like, nigga, what? I'm like, what? Bro, I wish I would try to put somebody, I don't care if it's my family or I wish I would try to put somebody else's name on my property that I've saved all that money for. That wouldn't happen. I would have to go into court because they would think they own it. But man, listen, it's different. Oh my goodness, look, we got somebody in the room. Oh, we're gonna have to go a little bit longer. There's a special guest in the room. Branjour from around the world.
Man, I didn't think you're gonna put me on, man. I didn't think you're gonna put me on. I'm in my bed looking at you.
Where you at, man? What country you in Colombia? You in Panama? You in Brazil? Where you at?
I'm in Jersey.
Look at this. Right next door.
I'm right next door. That's why I was trying to get in touch with you, man, because I want to know about the properties. I'm out here in Teaneck. I'm in Teaneck. I'm working out here in Teaneck, one of the major hospitals. I'm about to go to I'll be in Colombia next week, 2 weeks from now. I'm in Colombia. I'll be in Cartagena for 2 weeks.
Nice. I think shout out to Barber TV. He down there right now. It's his birthday today, actually. Shout out to him. Yeah, man.
I can't go until 2 weeks, man. That's when I get off. I get off 2 weeks, so I'll be out there real quick. But
so Branjour, I gotta ask you this. I know I follow your channel. Give us some insight about owning property overseas, man, because you have a lot of insight on that.
Well, let me get my chair.
Okay. Put your money aside to pay a lawyer. You never know.
Man, I was watching Thailand just now. I was thinking Thailand, but properties. Well, you know a lot about property. I want to get with you about property because I'm trying to buy something here. Okay. Let me let you know. I'm getting a $400,000 to $500,000 loan pretty soon, and I'm going to start some. I don't know if it's going to be made. I like Teaneck. I'm liking this area, but I think Teaneck's a little too expensive. I'm in Inglewood, Teaneck. You know where that is. Now I lived in Maplewood, so I know Maplewood, South Orange. I used to work at John's place. I don't know if you remember, soul food spot in Newark, beyond the church. That's like 25 years ago. I used to run a soul food place out there because I used to cook. So I know Newark really well. But I know Jersey City can't get in because I'm from Jersey City. And I went back home and all that was bought up. My brother had a house in Jersey City and he sold it probably 15, 20 years ago. He sold it for $400,000. That same house is like $1.1 million right now. It's crazy.
Always up, man.
It's
always going up.
The guy tore it down and built 3 condos in there. Sold the condo for 8.5. No, for 89,000. No, 800,000. Yeah, each one of them.
Jeez. This guy said a second. But he said, but renting it out, you have to pay taxes for it. And what's the depreciation? The value low. All right, so let me explain depreciation for you. Every year you're able to depreciate because every year a house that you own a house is going to go down. It's going to go down. So it might not go down in value, but it's going to go down based on how much you own. So let's say you own a house, right? Every year you have a certain amount of money that you could depreciate off the house because it's just wear and tear. So if you have $10,000 in depreciate, you don't lose that money. It doesn't come out your house. It just with the taxes allow you to depreciate $10,000 of that home. And you say, but renting it out, you have to pay taxes. You have to pay taxes on property. You don't have to pay taxes to be able to rent it out, but you have to pay taxes on the property. But the property tax is basically going to be covered by your rent. Go ahead.
And also, I used to have a house in Maplewood, and I bought windows. I bought like $10,000 in windows. Government gave it all back to me. I got it as a tax deferment.
Tax deferment, yeah, yep.
So you have to do that based upon your house and what your house needs per year.
So did you get that house in Colombia yet, or a condo in Colombia, or were you getting ready to purchase it?
Okay, this is it on condo in Colombia. I got so much news on condo in Colombia. I can get in detail, man, because man, there's like 5 different ways to buy condos. I had a guy selling me a condo by a house. I'm sorry, $66,000 by the airport. The house is banging. I was working with 3 realtors out there because right now I'm working in Inglewood. I'm working in a major hospital.
California?
Huh?
California?
No, Inglewood, Jersey.
Okay, yeah. Oh, you mean okay?
Inglewood. I'm in Inglewood, New Jersey.
I know. So you travel for your job?
Yeah, I travel everywhere. I'm leaving. My contract. Okay. They extended my contract, but my contract runs out. They double my pay to go to Connecticut. So I was like, shit, I'm going. But in the meantime, in that span, I'm going to Colombia for a while. I was supposed to take like 2 weeks. So I'm only going to take a week. But I'm thinking of going to South Africa in June for a month. I'm just going to take off to South Africa. And then I'll be in Hawaii I think I'm trying to get to Hawaii for like working in Hawaii. And then after that, I'll be in the Philippines. So I'm trying to travel out there through work. But as far as real estate is concerned, it's a lot. There's a lot unpacking real estate. The prices, the first, I did a video. I did 2 videos on the real estate. I did one. Yeah, I did one that's for $30,000. I just got feedback from one of the guys. He emailed me. He bought the actual apartment. It cost him $37,000. He said the floors were different, so he pulled it up. As a matter of fact, I got his email here. He said, "Yeah, I bought the house that you said it cost me $37,000." And he bought it. It was right next to a strip club. That's why everybody liked it. If it didn't get better again than just in the video, is la Marina de Paraíso. Marina de Paraíso is a 24-hour strip club.
I remember seeing that.
Okay, so, thank you. It's a 24-hour strip club that has a swimming pool in the middle of the floor. So the girls go into the swimming pool, they come out, they start dancing, and this is outside. So it has 2 levels. It's a big. Everybody knows what Marina de Paraíso is. I just assumed that you guys knew it and you guys would Google it. So I didn't want to go too invert into the video, but the video is about Marina de Paraíso. I did it subtly, but if you got it.
It's a house though?
Huh?
He bought a house?
No, he bought a condo. I'm sorry.
I was like, wait, what? For 37? Okay. What?
Let me fill you guys in. I did a video about on a property in Colombia. This property that I saw was $30,000. You have to put 20% down, which is $9,000. The gist of the video was that you are paid monthly. In Colombia, the situation is completely different. In Colombia, as far as real estate is concerned, there's a few ways to go about it. You can buy condos, but what they call it is torre, which would be a building like condos. Well, they build them in stages. So let's say somebody, a developer, is building 8 buildings, torre. 8 buildings. Well, when the first one is 50% complete, he starts renting and he starts selling them. Right. So he starts one. When that is 50% complete, he goes to the second one. So what does he do? He sells all the units in there. He has an office. He shows you them and everything else. So you go in, you buy whatever it is, 27th floor, the 6th floor. The higher it is, the more expensive it is. I was getting one on the 26th floor for like 31,000 with 20% down. So what that comes to, and there's no HOA. No HOA.
For all those who don't know, these are new builds, meaning these buildings that weren't there before, and this is why you pay as it's being developed.
So we have the same thing in the United States and Canada. I found out after that. The same thing, we do the same thing. But I did not know that in Colombia, this is how you do the job, which was a little weird. I found out in an airplane talking to another American who was doing this, who taught me, and then I started learning on my own. So the buildings go up, and you pay for the first one. Now, you put 20% down, and they put the money in escrow. They don't take the money until the money's completely done. You have until the building is built completely, you have that time to pay for the building, which let's say is 30,000. You put 9% down, which is 10 or 15. Don't quote me on there because I haven't done the math on it. Right. Let's say 9,000. Let's say 9,000. You put 9,000 on it. You have another 2 years to pay the other 21,000. Upon completion, they hand you the key, and it's yours completely. You own it. In the country of Colombia, if you own property, you're allowed to have citizenship, right? Because
is it 82? Is it 82,000?
I'm not quite sure. I know my boy. He has a residency in Colombia. He's black. He's black. He has resident in Colombia, but he has 2 properties. He has one in Barranquilla and the other one down there. He showed it to me while he was going through the process. That's one of the caveats to that. So I did a few videos about that. That video is 30,000 for the condo, and this is in Cartagena. Cartagena is a water area in Colombia, primarily black. That's where the black places were populated. Usually anything in the coastline is black and anything in the inland is white. So in Colombia, the power is always held in town. The poor people live out town. So anything by the water is going to be the poorest areas in Colombia. And that's where the black people live. Anything in town, and the more in town, that's where all the government is at. So all the government and everything is in Bogota, Medellin, but they're in the cities. It's weird. Yeah. So then I got in with another realtor who was selling me. I got like 4 realtors in Colombia.
So these places are what part of Colombia?
Cartagena. I have like 4 different places. Well,
37 in Cartagena?
Oh yes, you can get it cheaper than that. What?
37,000 in Cartagena.
Yes. Yes, brand new. Remember, these are brand new. You have to remember something. It's 4-1 right now. So when I say 37,000, for them it's 140,000.
Right.
Because it's 4-1. When we say 30,000, we have to do the currency conversion. The conversion is 4-1. So 30,000 times 37. Well, let's say 40,000 4 ways is 160,000. So for them, the house is 160,000. Remember, they only make $1 a day, right? They only make $1 a day. They make $8, which is around 32 or 4,000 pesos. They only make $8,000. They make $6 to $8 a day. Women make less. They don't have no breaks and they work 16 hours, 6 to 7 days a week. Most people in Colombia work 6 to 7 days a week, 12-hour days. And that's not enough to make ends meet, but that's how they live. So you can see how the houses are. They could never get to this level. Even though to us it's 37, to them it's 140,000, 160,000, and they could never live in this lifestyle because their house is going to be very cheap.
Once you buy your house though, taxes wise, it's not how expensive is the taxes?
No taxes. This Spanish country, there's no taxes in Spanish country. Once you own the house, it's yours. I'm from Panama. In my country, there's no taxes. Once you own the house, it's yours forever. You don't pay tax or anything. You don't pay nothing, just your light bill, gas. So now let's go into the HOA. The building does not have a HOA, so there's no HOA fee. So when you get the building, it's just yours. There's no taxes. No taxes on it. Oh, I'm sorry. I think the HOA was like $70. I'm sorry. I think this HOA was like $60, $70, but there's no taxes on it.
Right.
The HOA is because it has a swimming pool on the last floor. That's another swimming pool on the last floor. Has a bar.
Common areas.
Yeah, the common areas has it downstairs in the first floor. They have another one, but the other one is VIP. They have a VIP up.
No, no. What I'm saying is the HOA is because you have to fix stuff in common areas.
And the security guard and the gym. Because remember, it has a full gym in it, has a security guard, has swimming pools in different areas, has a VIP area upstairs in the 28th floor, has a concierge up in the 28th floor. So it's very trendy. But the thing that caught everybody was that it's right next to Marina de Paraíso, which is the strip club that opens 24/7, 7 days a week. Right. And that's a high-end strip club. That's one of the highest-end strip club, and everybody knows it. So you're going to get a lot of Venezuela girls. And usually girls love going to your house from there. They just like being in that area. That was the whole gist of I don't know if you got it, but it's a subtle gist. I don't want to put it out there too hard.
No, we got it.
Okay. So that was that one. After that, I have another called it's called Propiedades, which is the same thing, but this shows you all of the inventory all over Colombia. So every city, every town, everywhere.
It's like an MLS?
Yes.
Multiple listing service?
Yes, and they give you a virtual tour, and they give you everything in there. They give you the number of the place. They give you everything it is, and they usually runs from like 28,000 to 400,000 to $1 million. You can get it in Boca Grande. You can get it anywhere in Colombia. As a matter of fact, you could put it up. I gave it to you. You could put it up. You can go through it if you want. That one. So then another contact that I met this young lady. Let me go back to this other American that I met out there last time. I was out there 3 months ago for a month. And I met this American that gave me the best news, man. So, as a matter of fact, I got called him when I go to Cartagena. Young man, I think he's 53. He retired like at 37. Right. He owns a tobacco company in Puerto Rico, and he has a lot of other things he owns. So he moved out, and he retired completely. I think he has 11 kids. He's been in Colombia enough enjoying himself.
Right.
So
this is basically I'm gonna let you go, but fellas, what we doing here, ladies, if you're here, we're just giving you options as somebody who wasn't born with a bunch of money, wasn't born privileged, and he just broke down to you guys how inexpensive it was. Not only that, but how you don't have to pay taxes. How, if you have passive income from the States, you now can live over there and pretty much live like a king on a peasant salary. Keep going, man.
So now I'm just giving you a background on this guy. I'm not giving his name, but I'm just giving you a background. He's an American, older gentleman. I think he's 53 now. He's been there for a few years. He speaks a little broken Spanish, but all right. Like I said, he has a tobacco company in there, and he left most of his stuff for people to deal with his finance. So I met him in Cartagena. The beautiful thing is I was staying in Elliptic. Elliptic is a fancy hotel right on the water, overlooking the water. Well, he has a condo he bought there for $51,000. He bought it cash, $51,000. Which I thought you have to come in there around $260, $275 to get a condo. He's like, no, you can get it really, really dirt cheap. I said, how? He goes, because a lot of people want to get rid of their homes. And when you get an American that want to get out of the country real quick, or you get somebody that's a distressed property, they'll sell it to you for almost nothing. So I got this house for $51,000. I put it on Airbnb, and I've been selling out every week for the past 2.5 years. As a matter of fact, I can't even stay in my own crib. He goes, right. I got this girl from Copa. I got a lot of girls that chill right now. I want to hang on my spot. It's sold out because it's right on the water. He goes, but after that one, I bought another condo right up the street for $110,000. Now these same condos right now they're running around 175 to 225, but he bought it at 50.
Are we talking about dollars?
Dollars. His dollars, American dollars. He bought it for 51,000, but this is on the water itself. On the water. If you've been there, you know when you cross the street, you have the Hyatt and all those places. Okay. This like 10 blocks from the Hyatt, 10 blocks from the Hyatt, left side. Then he has another one right next to the Hyatt. So he bought 2 units for 160,000, which is dirt cheap out there. That's dirt cheap if you know it. And he's been selling them out. He rents because he has his own spot he rent because he can't use his own because he's renting his house for $50 to $75 a day. And he's rented out for the last 2.5 years. So he's putting me on the game. We're like, yo, get my number. When you come out here, let's do the real estate thing. Let me get you a lawyer. Let me get this. And if you bring cash, he goes, as long as you bring cash and you want to do some cash deals with these folks, get a lawyer, let's get some papers and get you some of these houses right on the water.
So how often are you in your states?
I'm in the state now. I'm leaving. Oh, I've been here the last 3 months. I'm leaving next week. 2 weeks. I'm leaving back to Colombia. And then I'll be here for a 5-month contract. And then I'm going to South America, to South Africa.
So you have a contract in Colombia?
No, the United States. I do contracts in hospitals. I'm working on a contract in this hospital in Boston. So after my contract is done, I go to South Africa. I'm thinking of going to South Africa, but I just finished watching this video about Thailand versus Philippines, and homeboy was hitting it hard. So I don't know. I'm trying. I saw
from what I saw on shout out to Aaron from Black Men Travels. When I saw it when he interviewed some guy, it was saying Bangkok is like the only place that's really open in Thailand. It said open out there. It said what's that? Phuket?
Pattaya.
They say that's closed, shut down. They said the other parts. They said Bangkok is the only thing that's open. Everything else you got to be like, even with the vaccine, you got to be quarantined for 2 weeks or a week or a day, something like that, and they give you all these extra fees. So I don't know.
Okay, because I know right now I'm thinking of going to South Africa in June for my birthday in June, South Africa. But plans may change. You never know. Right now I'm scheduled to be in Colombia in January. I'll be in Colombia in January, Cartagena, and I don't know if I'm gonna fly into San Andrea or go down to Medellin yet. I'm only there for a few days, but shit, I'm gonna enjoy myself. I got people. But and if you guys want to see it, I may even do a video. If you guys want to see it, I'll actually take video of the actual people. I go to the places, I show it to you.
What I'm gonna do, y'all, for y'all is I'm gonna when we finish this live, we're gonna finish like 13 minutes. I'm going to add Branjour's YouTube page also in the description. Like I told everybody, I have the YouTube channels that I watch every day on finance, real estate, crypto, and all that stuff in the thing, because I feel as though, you know, this may be one of the only times, this may be the last generation where we can actually make a move to escape poverty for our families.
Hey, can I add on that?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I remember I used to have a stock channel. If you remember, I used to do Branjour Tuesday, and I stopped doing that because I just didn't think people were taking it serious enough. And since then, I'm not even going to tell you how much money I've made, but I'm pretty sure that I could retire probably next year.
I remember the Moderna movie you was talking about.
Moderna. We bought Moderna 36, went to $3.99.
Yep, I remember that. I remember that. I think I was watching that. I wasn't watching that show. I was in the comments talking about it when you said, "Yo, Moderna," and I literally like 4 months later, it was like 300 something.
Yep. It was $3.99. I sold out of that position. I went to Neo, started to buy Neo stock. But anyway, the move right now that I have, which I'll tell you what I did last week. I made $56,000 in one day, right? I'm gonna give you this move because I think that we need to move away from a lot of things, and stock is the key to the world. I am learning as I'm going that day trading is not the key. It's just a long-term investment. And the more you learn, the more you understand that this is wealth, because you should be a millionaire. Out of this recession and out of this pandemic, most black people should walk out of here a millionaire. Now, I'm saying that to say this: you have the meta world that's coming up, which is big. You have lithium. I had the lithium space. Remember, I had LKKF, which I said the lithium stock. I bought LKKF at 12 cents, went to 68. I think I make like 140,000 off that. I'm giving you numbers because people like numbers. But
yeah, you need to be able to back it up with receipts. So you got the receipts.
Yeah. So remember, I was talking about LKKF because that's a lithium spot. Remember, LKKF is a company that started when Donald Trump started a war with China, did a verbal war, and he didn't want to deal with them. So China owns 98% of the world lithium, right? And since we have no lithium, we need lithium. Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Mike Bloomberg, and all the richest people in the world went up to somebody in Australia. I said, hey, look, man, you have a reserve of lithium and we have no lithium because this fool's acting crazy. Could you come to the States? We'll make you an offer you can't refuse. He said, what? I said, I live in Brazil, in Australia. I got good. You have the lithium. We'll do this. Bill Gates has a company called Lilac Solution out of California, and he works with the MIT engineers. He can make lithium for you, the lithium process that takes 9 months to 16 months. He can make it in 2 days with a 99.97 purity. Right now, the pure content at that point in time is 99.5. You can look this up. The purest lithium you can find in the United States in the world is 99.5. The one Bill Gates has is 99.97. His is the purest, right?
Right.
And that's out of Lilac Solution. So now, if you know that lithium is a thing of the future, because why? Because China said that 50% of all of their population has to be in an EV by 2026. Canada said 50% of the population 2027. The United States said 2030. All of their cars have to be EVs, right? So, and then Biden said that he's putting out 500,000 poles all over the United States. You know, California already put $1 billion worth of poles in California. So lithium is, EV is a thing of the future, and invest in the infrastructure now, and they're penny on the dollars. Why not get on lithium now? Why buy Apple and all these things that cost $200, $300, $1,000 to get in when the lithium stock is penny on the dollar? So if you buy penny on the dollars now, you should be making $200, $300, $400, $500 within a month.
What's that stock quote? Or the stock ticker?
KKF. That's if you want to make money within. Remember, that's going to make right now it's at 63 cents, but I bought it at 12, right? And I usually buy things at 100 and 200 and 300,000 clips. I don't buy because I have the whale mentality. If your ant jumps in the pool, it doesn't make a whale, doesn't make a splash. But if you put a whale in the pool, it makes a splash. Right. So to make money in this world, you have to come in with some serious volume. The volume you could get with the penny stock.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to you guys is lithium has a lot of space. You have like Siona, which is at 0.1 right now. 1 penny is 1 penny, but the
lithium also.
Yes, Siona is lithium. Siona, which is Siona, Sayona, Siona. That's 1 penny right now, but it's going to be 18 pennies pretty soon. It's going to be $1 by the year. Look at the cap. The cap is what, 35 million and the outstanding shares. But that's on the lithium space. There's so much stuff on the lithium space. You got to know what lithium. Remember, you have ABML. ABML is another great company. It's at $1 right now. Used to be at $3. ABML. Why am I saying these companies? Think about it. If 2 Tesla cars get into the accident, you can't even put them in the junkyard because the battery is not biodegradable. So you have to put it somewhere special. Well, where can you put it? There's nowhere that recycles batteries. Name me one place in the United States that recycle lithium. There's none. So
this is what I would like you to do because you can come towards the end. I want you to maybe if you can, I don't know if you can or not, give like an outline of how someone of maybe not someone who has maybe let's say $40,000. We're gonna say somebody broke. Let's say if you have $50,000.
That's a lot of money.
And let's say you have $50,000, right? And you want to maximize how you can be good for the future.
Easy.
How would you break apart that $50,000 and what would you do?
Break it apart. First of all, I started $500. I ended up with $100,000 probably 3 months later. It's not that hard. $50,000 is a lot of money. I listened to Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett said something great that really was the key to my success at this point in time. He said, man, don't listen to these cats because 90% of them are phony and corny anyway. People on the internet are not trying to make money for you. They're trying to get views, and they're trying to for you to buy into their system. At the end of the day, get rid of all your stock, only have one. The most important person, I think
what's the name said that too? Warren Buffett. He said diversification.
Warren Buffett said that. One Buffett said that. Bill Gates, all the billionaires said, get 1 or 2 or 3. Make sure you get very small and know your company. And that's exactly what I did. Imagine if you put all your money into Coca-Cola. You'll be a millionaire. Imagine Tesla. I'll give you a quick story. There's a man that when Tesla started, and that's how I look at contracts now. That's why I look at contracts when I look at stocks. There's a Japanese gentleman when Tesla was first started. He looked at the contract of the CEO and he saw the CEO's bonus and had bonus and incentives for the CEO of Tesla. And he said, "Oh, this is how we do things in Japan. I believe in this guy." So every paycheck you put money Tesla. When Tesla hit, he got it from the beginning. When Tesla hit, he kept on putting money over the years. I think he had like 100 million by this time because he had so many damn stocks as he started really small. But he only believed in one company. And that's what I did. I only do, like I said, I put big time money in one company. Right now, I just put $80,000 into OVUV. I put it on Thursday. OVUV came in at 16 cents. It went up to 34, making me $56,000, right?
Right.
Why? Because I put all my money in one thing. I don't believe in doing a whole bunch of stock, even though I know of a lot of stocks, but I try to bring it down to one. Right now, I'm doing OVUV. What is OUV? OUV? OWUV. OWV is a meta world. Meta world. They're buying everything in the meta world. And the only way I explain it to you is this, though. Imagine
OWUV.
OWUV. Imagine if you're playing Monopoly and 8 people are playing Monopoly. 8 people are playing Monopoly. If you ever play Monopoly, 8 people are playing Monopoly, and the 7 of them cannot play yet. Only one person could play, and he has all the money in the bank. And he goes around and starts buying everything for 40 minutes. And then everybody gets to play. What happens if everybody starts to play? Everybody got to pay him because now he has Broadway, he has Park Place, he has Baltimore, he has New York, he has the Waterway, he has 10% of your money. That's what they're doing.
So basically, it's kind of like black people buy real estate now. Like when black people were allowed to buy real estate back in the day, and everybody bought everything up, and now we're buying it. We only allowed to.
Yeah, so we late to the game. So what they did is they bought the property rights to make property rights in the metaverse. They bought it yesterday, Friday. They also bought $100 million in property in the metaverse. They bought property in New York, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. So if you look at just look at what they're doing, they're buying every single day. The cap right now is $5.6 billion they have in cap. The marketplace they have, like the outstanding shares, they have 133.4. I bought 400,000 of the shares, so the 400,000 is mine. So you can't even touch that. I got 500,000 on it. So 133 is there. 133 is a small amount of shares for the meta world because everybody's pushing it. You got Facebook pushing it, Google's pushing it, everybody's pushing it. So therefore, they got a small cap. They got a big cap, and they got a small shares. So it's going to go up. So right now, because we're in the infrastructure of the meta world, you got to jump on it now while the infrastructure is being built. Because the thing is this, you have lightning in a bottle. You actually have lightning in a bottle. So therefore, you know where's it at. And when it gets away from the bottle, you can't touch it. Once the metaverse get big, remember what fuels stocks. What fuels stock is word of mouth. If people believe something is expensive and it's worth it, people will buy it.
This is why I like having people up here, because like I said, even though I personally don't really understand it, and right now I can't see investing in it.
Oh yes.
The fact that we got Branjour right here explaining it to you guys gives you two different analyses of things. And I think the biggest issue that we have in life is when people say this is the only way. This is the only way is the weakness that you have. But as you're seeing, there's multiple ways to do it.
Well, the thing is this, though. I didn't know anything about the metaverse until somebody brought it up to my attention. Man, I got a panel of guys, and we sharks, man. We get around and we break the whole thing out, and we see where we can make money. And when we looked at this stock, because we looked at this stock like 4, 5, 6 days ago, it was brought to us, and we're looking at the stock, and I'm like, nah, I like Sayona. Everybody's I like LKKF. Let's break it down. We looked at and the thing that kept on coming at us was the share prices, the share volume. 133.4. That's tiny compared to LKKF that's 1.2. Sayona have 2.6. Everybody has like a billion shares. These people only got 133, which that means that they're very small. The money's going to go up faster, and they're buying everything because they have a lot of money. Now, the metaverse is a virtual reality. Look at it as virtual reality. Forget the word metaverse. Metaverse is a Jewish word. Because remember Meta World Peace, which was Artesta's name, and everybody thought he was a clown when he put Meta World Peace because he wanted peace in the world. So Meta is a Jewish word. Mark Zuckerberg is Jewish, so they made it a Jewish word. But it's a virtual reality. So the virtual reality been here for years. It started like in 1980, but now it's coming to a full circle. So everything's going to go into virtual reality. Remember, Snoop Dogg just inked a deal, right? That he next door neighbor bought his house for 140 million.
Yeah, I see that part.
But the land is this. Everybody's jumping on it. I mean, Sony already bought it. IBM, Nike already bought property in there. So everybody already jumped on it. So the thing is this. You're going to jump in late, you're going to jump in early. And the thing is, you don't have to know. You just got to know that that's where the money's coming, because the money, you have to follow who's pushing. And right now, if Facebook is pushing, Google is pushing, all the billionaires are into it, everybody's going into it. You don't want to be the guy coming at the tail end when it's $60, $80, $100. Why not buy a penny on the dollar when the infrastructure is being built? So OVUV is that there's going to be a whole bunch of people coming in, but people that are coming now buying in the meta world are making money. Like I said, I bought 80,000, and I'm gonna talk some crazy numbers. I bought 80,000, which was 423,000 shares. I bought that on Friday. It went from 16 cents to 34 cents, making me $56,000. Well, it was 76,000. Right now it's back to 27 cents, 29 cents. I took 50,000 out, and I'm waiting for it to drop this week, and I'm gonna add more in there. So somewhere around 500 shares I want. I will never touch that again. I put that on the side, and now I will never touch that again, because the meta world is growing, and this is going to grow in leaps and bounds. By next year, by early January, this should be $1. By next year, it'll be like 10, 20, 40, 50, $60. And that's what we got to think about in a 5-year span. And you got to just leave these things alone. Now you got you got virtual world that you may not like it, but it's here. And if they're pushing it, and I'll give you one even better than this so you understand what I'm talking about. And please, and I'm talking to people that don't have the concept yet, and I'm going to tell you how strong word of mouth is. I'm reading it. I'm going to tell you, Hertz is a car company, and if you don't believe me, you can look at this. Hertz is a car company that's worth $1 billion. They went out of business like a year ago. They completely liquidated all of their company, but they went down to like a penny, to the penny stock. Well, there was nothing in Hertz anymore, but because a few people decided they're going to pump up this penny stock, they brought it back up to $4. Remember, there's no Hertz.
I remember there's no Hertz. They
pumped it up to $4. They dropped it down to 99 cents. They pumped it up to $3, dropped it. Mind you, there's no Hertz. They're not selling. They're out of business, but the stock is still working strong. Why? Because word of mouth, and people kept on making money off it. Remember, for every dollar, it's $3, $4 somebody's making. So they would drop it down and bring it up on their own. This is word of mouth, and people are doing this on their own. So Hertz went back to the judge, and the judge said, what's this? He goes, well, we want to put
more shares.
Yeah, we want to put 2 billion shares back on the market. He goes, but you have no product. And he goes, yeah, but these fools keep on selling, keep on buying and selling it. He goes, this can't be, because you have no supply. How could they do it? Word of mouth. The penny stocks are creating their own environment. They're hyping it and bringing it back down on their own. So we want to sell it more because we're in bankruptcy, and this will take us out of bankruptcy. So they sold them something that don't even have supply and demand. It just had word of mouth. So you understand how strong word of mouth is.
Yeah, it does. The same way Bitcoin is working too. But and we're gonna wrap this up. But I want you, before we wrap, the last thing to say before we wrap this up on your end, I want you to give you your information where they can find you at. And the last thing is give the ticker symbols that they should be looking for. So give your where they can find you, the ticker symbols, and let them know how they can contact you.
Well, I used to have a stock show. I don't do it anymore. I do think the wealth, this is going to build wealth. We should all be millionaires within a year, really. I mean, if you're not a millionaire within a year, and I'm talking about from 500, you said at 50,000. 50,000 is a lot of money. I'm 31,000. I can make you 100,000. And don't call me on this, because I'm not into making money, none of that. I'm just doing stuff for myself. But it's that simple. My thing is this: study, look at it. There's a lot. We're in the early stage of all of these structures. So we're building the lithium structure as we speak. We build the meta world as we speak. Everything is penny on the dollar. So forget all of these 500-600 stocks, because they already went as far as they could. You got to get to the penny. Think about it. I'm about to buy a stock today, which is cost a penny. This stock is about to go up to $1. If it goes up to $1 and I put 30,000 on it, I make $495,000 right off this one, right? But I already know the stock. I know the CEO is Cheng. He's a good CEO. He works with a lot of companies. He's doing a lot of things in the metaverse, and he's buying crypto. They just bought the crypto company this Friday, which has 500 cryptos in it, coins. So once you find out about these things that are coming up, you find out that, man, there's so much money to be made right now. The issue is that You could take any of these stock and become a millionaire because it's the infrastructure to all of them. All of them are penny on the dollar. And you're going to go, oh, use a penny stock. Yeah, because they're just beginning. That's the only reason the penny stock. But look how much money they're coming out with. If they have $100 million, they're coming out with. If they have $50 million, penny stocks don't have $50 million in the treasure chest. Only companies that are strong, but they have to start as a penny stock, and they're going to run right through penny into a dollar. They're going to uplist. Uplisting is when they go to the NASDAQ and whatnot. I'm not going to stay here long.
Don't leave without giving us the information on where they can find you and the ticker symbols again.
Okay, I'm Branjour from Branjour Around the World. I do travel as far as I travel around the world, and I show my point of view. I'm in New York. I'm doing New York stuff. And if people like it, that's cool. I don't have nothing. You can send me money, nothing like that, because I don't need it. I just do this for fun. Not into the money thing. On with you guys, but on stock and stuff, other things I am. Okay, so right now is this is ICOA. ICOA is a penny stock. ICOA is 0.0 is 1 penny for this stock. ICOA. This is about to blow up within a couple of weeks. After January, this should be around maybe 18 to 20 cents. Why is that important? Because if you put that 50,000 into this stock right now, wait for 4 years. This should be by next year. This should be somewhere around 200,000-300,000. 200,000-300,000, because 50,000 on this penny stock should be what? Let me just shits and giggles. Let me see how much 50,000 will give me.
I just want to make sure. So we got ICOA, we got OVUV.
Oh wait, real quick. That 50,000 will give you 5 million stocks. That 50,000 gave you 5 million
stocks. 5 million shares.
5 million shares. Remember, when this penny stock goes to $1, that becomes $5 million.
Right.
Please understand that. So every penny goes up is $5,000. So from now on, this 1 penny, it becomes 1 cent. If it goes 2 cents, that's 5,000 you made. 3 cents is 10,000 you made. 4 cents, that's
every penny is $1.
So every penny is 5,000 for you that you put in. So by the time it gets to $1, it's $5 million. That $50 because you bought so early on. As it gets bigger, the shares become lower. So please understand that's where the money's at. And these companies are just starting, but they're good companies because this deals with the metaverse and Bitcoins. They buy distressed loans. This company buys distressed loans. They just secured $1 billion in secure loans. They just cleared all their debt. They just bought a Bitcoin company, IFBH, and they just bought it. And they got great CEO and great management there. I think they have $350 million in the bank, which is a penny stock, but $350 million in the bank. So they, as far as I'm getting tongue tied. The infrastructure, they're a solid company. They just happen to just start because the metaverse has just started, and Bitcoin is probably a new company too. So that's what's a penny. But in 5 years, even if this doesn't make no money, it goes to $5. You have what? 1 million. You have what? $25 million. That's how crazy the money's here. That's how crazy. And all of these companies. So that's one company there. But you have to think in that perspective, and you have to do your homework in it. You got to research everything about it. You have to look at everything. But there's so many companies right now because the infrastructure is so young that everything's making money. So you have that company. You have OWUV.
OWUV.
Okay, that's 27 cents right now. I bought it at 16. That's 27 cents.
SSAYONA.
AWUV.
No, the next one. SSAYONA.
I'm not quite sure. Let me look at my portal. The other one is SYAXF. That's Siona. Yeah,
that's what. That's what.
SYAXF.
Okay.
That's Siona Mining Company. That's 79 cents. Siona Mining Company. What's Siona Mining Company? They do lithium in Canada. They got the biggest Canada deposit in the world, one of the biggest. There's only one lithium in the United States, right? And there's another one just came in, which is LKKF. So remember, everybody in the United States is going to have lithium, but there's not enough lithium batteries in the United States. So it doesn't matter. They need as many lithium as possible. So this being not even a penny is crazy. But once they open their doors, because they're building the store now, this is going 10, 4, 5, 6, 20, 30, $40. But this is a mining company. It's in Australia, but they're in Canada. So that's on the lithium side. And you know they're going to make the money because it's a strong company. So this is what we got to put your money in, things that are in the future that has an actual use.
Long-term investment.
And well, they're not, because they're making sure, because at a penny, they're going to go up real quick. Once they do all the finance and make sure that the books are right, because once they uplisting is when you go from $1 from 99 cents to $1 and you become part of the NASDAQ, and you
Right.
go to a 6-week period where they scrutinize over your books. Once you go up to there, that's when all the major institutions could come in, like the 401ks, the bank, and everybody else. And usually there's a jump from $1 to $3 real quick from there. So if you got 50,000, you put in this company, it goes to $1, which is $5 million for you, it will jump to 3. That's $50 million that quick. And you could wait probably a year and a half because things are moving so fast because the lithium is in great demand. And they put the horse before the carriage because right now you made the cars, but there's no damn lithium. There's no batteries. So that's why if you listen to Biden, I got the tape where he says we're making a 500,000 lithium chargers over the United States because you build the cars, but you have no damn batteries. But
of all that stuff, the lithium is the one I'm really gonna look more into because I do
believe
that's gonna be the
metaverse. Metaverse is flying out. Metaverse. Look, metaverse went from 1 million 2 weeks ago to 5 million to 50 million Friday. 15 million people traded on metaverse because it's so hot. 15. Yes, the lithium is hot too, and that's going to be next year. Right around next year, it'll go from $1 to $12, depending which one you get, and it's going to go up. But that metaverse will go probably to $10 probably by the end of next month or 2 months. That metaverse is just hot. Because people know about the metaverse. All these geeks know about the metaverse. Me and you may not, but these young cats, they know the metaverse is here, and they know Snoop Dogg's neighbor bought it for $50 million. And if you don't get it now, the metaverse is going to fly past you. And the metaverse is buying Bitcoin. That's the thing. You could use metaverse and Bitcoin because this company I just gave to you, UVU, they are creating their own Bitcoin this year. They're making their own Bitcoin to fit into their world. So both of them go together now. The Bitcoin is into metaverse. So all the metaverse are looking into buying Bitcoins.
Okay, but anyway, we'll make sure you guys follow Branjour, man. He don't have a stock channel no more, but I'm sure you can ask him. He has his Instagram, his YouTube. I'll put them in the link in the description. And any last words, man, before we get out of here?
No, man. I just jumped on, just say what's up, man. I didn't think I was going to talk today.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. This whole thing for I do this part because it is not for the views. It's just simply because as Black Americans, as people of a hell of a struggle, we need to be educated financially in all aspects, even if we don't invest in all aspects. Like I said, I'm heavy on real estate. He's heavy on stocks. Other person's heavy on crypto. But we need to invest in something because in the future we're not going to be able to do anything, and we're just going to be like I said, United States. I tell people, the United States right now is young. It's young. The people can't see it because they don't understand the whole world. But when you understand the whole world, you understand how long England been around. You understand how long China been around. You understand how long Russia been around. The United States has been around 1/10 of 1/100th of all these other countries. We've only been here for 300 years. If you don't invest now, in the future, your family's gonna hate you. They're gonna look at you like, Grandpa, why didn't you invest when everybody else did?
Yeah, but it's easy to be a millionaire here, man. I made like $300,000 easy last year, and I remember a year and a half ago, I only had $50 or $500 with me. I could barely even do this thing. And once I learned this bad boy, I mean, like I said, I made $56,000 last Friday, and that's nothing. I mean, that really ain't more money for me anymore. Even $100,000, I don't think is money. Let's be real. So, and what I'm trying to tell you is this millions is this thing. And I've been trying to yell out you guys for the longest. And after a while, you get tired of yelling. I just said, you know what? I just keep my chip and my information to myself and go solo. But like I said, I used to have a stock channel where I used to do it. There's so much money in here because the infrastructure. Can I leave on one last thing, man? This is my last thing.
All right, go ahead.
This is what the infrastructure is. Like 35 years ago, I'm old enough to understand because I'm 50 years old. I know you're going to say, oh, you're 50, I'm 50. So a little while ago, there was this company that came, IBM, went up to this young guy named Bill Gates. Bill Gates wanted he didn't know enough about computer. He told him to go to his friend's house. His friend, it was the one who created Microsoft. Well, his friend, he decided to fly an airplane, and he wasn't there when IBM came in. IBM went back to Bill Gates and said, can you build it for us? He wasn't stupid, so he got somebody to do it for him, right? That same guy that was the IBM knocked on the door, he asked him to do it for him, and he subcontracted him. The guy was so mad, he killed himself a few years later. I don't know why, but he did. What I'm trying to tell you is this. IBM came back to Bill Gates and said, hey, Bill Gates went back to him, and they got, I forgot the name of the owner of the Lakers. He's the lawyer for Bill Gates, Ball. He went back to Ball and he said, build me a contract and said, So he went back to IBM and I said, hey, look, you can keep the computer. I want the programming. IBM didn't know what they had. So I said, what are you talking about? That is garbage. That's not worth anything. He goes, yeah, well, you keep the shiny computer because that's all they cared about in the 80s. I want the program. IBM signed the contract, and he gave Bill Gates the contract for the programming, which is Microsoft. Bill Gates was able to take that and became whatever he is now. What I'm trying to say is this, though. A lot of you guys are not paying attention to what's going on and getting caught up with, oh, I got to put money in Tesla. Tesla's at $1,000. That's not going to make you any money. At 50,000, Tesla's not going to make you no money. But if you put it at a penny and you look at a company's trajectory is all the way up, metaverse is in there, lithium is in there. If you want to put it in something that's making money, and within the lithium, there's so many other places. Remember, China's big into lithium too, but you have to remember Canada has lithium. And then you have the Xpeng, which is cars. Now you're talking about cars. You have Xpeng, you have Lee, Neo, you have Tesla also. So there's so many different ways to make money on the low end. Mm-hmm. I started with 31,000. I ain't gonna tell you my bank account, but I started a year and a half for 500, not even a check. And I'm throwing around 80,000 like it's nothing. So, and now I only deal with, I'm to the point that I only deal with 100,000s. I don't deal with, if I don't get like 100,000 stock, I really don't want it because that makes no sense to have stocks. I don't have a whole bunch of stock. I keep one at a time and I max him out. And when I had like 300,000-400,000, I put them to the side and start a new one, but I have, like I said, LKKF, 61 cents, ICOC, UV. These are all penny stocks, but their trajectories all the way up. Look how much money they have and research the hell out of the company and what the compensation rate is at. That's it, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Branjour, for coming in the building. Y'all make sure y'all go check his channel out. And I'm going to say, I'm going to end it with the other stuff, and we're going to get to you later, man. Peace.
All right, peace, man.
I appreciate you.
You got to give me your number, man. I got to talk to you about real estate. I got to buy something here.
Hit me on Instagram. You on my Instagram, right?
No. You on Facebook? No, on WhatsApp?
Yeah. I don't know how I can't give it to you.
Rich. I'll ask Rich for it. Rich has it?
Yeah. Tell Rich I can give it to you.
I'll talk to Rich about it. All right, peace, fellas.
All right, bro. Yo, listen, man. That was amazing. Like, it wasn't expected, and we started off with real estate, and I'm going to end it with real estate. I mean, the whole thing is this, y'all. I know if it sounds hard, but you got to really think of it. And I'm going to take a little credit. I'm going to give the credit to who said this, and it kind of makes sense. I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with a lot of stuff he says. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Boyce Watkins, he said, you got to think 100 years out. You got to think 100 years out. And the best way to think 100 years out is to think 100 years before. If your grandparents or your great-grandparents had invested money into real estate 100 years ago, right, would you be better off now? If just like Branjour said, if your grandparents had invested into Apple or into Microsoft and Bill Gates 100 years ago, would you be better off now? That's how you got to think about it for the future. And when you if you're thinking about it for now, like, oh, I can make this quick money now. This is why I said real estate is a long-term play, because this real estate is going to go to my kids. This is going to outlive me. This house is going to outlive me. Like stocks, crypto, I don't know. Everything goes up and down. There's companies that was in the stock market that's not there now. There's companies that was running businesses and they're not there now. Macy's. Who knows if they're going to be here in 5 years? Blockbuster Video. Who knows where they went? This is stuff, but real estate, but housing's been here. Housing stay here. It goes up, it goes down. You get that cash flow property, ain't going nowhere, man. So I appreciate everybody for coming in. Like, exactly, Shannon Brown. I can't say no better than that, man. We're going to leave it on that, man. It's your boy, FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why. Just check out the channel. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Legacy. Peace.